If you were asked which weapon is the most dangerous in the world, most people would probably mention intercontinental ballistic missiles, strategic bombers, or aircraft carriers that resemble floating cities. But what if the greatest threat never appears on the surface at all? Imagine the ocean. Several hundred feet beneath the surface lies complete darkness. There are no satellites, no radar, and almost no chance of seeing the enemy. Only silence. And within that silence, war machines are already moving. They can remain undetected for months, travel thousands of miles without refueling, gather intelligence, deploy special operations forces, and launch missile strikes before the enemy even realizes they are being watched. While the world's attention is focused on massive aircraft carriers that can even be seen from space, another fleet operates beneath the waves. It does not put on shows of force, it does not take part in military parades, and it is rarely seen on camera. Yet it is considered one of the U.S. Navy's greatest strategic assets. Today, the backbone of America's submarine fleet is the Virginia class, and that may come as a surprise. It is not the fastest, not the largest, and it does not carry the biggest arsenal among U.S. submarines. But that is exactly what makes it so valuable. The Virginia class was not designed for a single type of war. It was built to handle virtually any mission. It can hunt enemy submarines, destroy surface ships, strike land targets, conduct covert intelligence operations, deploy special operations forces, and operate alongside unmanned underwater vehicles. In essence, it is a universal warrior capable of performing dozens of different missions with equal effectiveness. Over time, however, the U.S. Navy faced a major challenge. The fleet was gradually losing its Ohio-class SSGN submarines, which were capable of launching hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles. A new platform was needed to at least partially replace that lost firepower. That led to the biggest upgrade in the history of the Virginia class. At the heart of the upgrade was the Virginia Payload Module, or VPM. Engineers literally cut into the submarine's hull and added a new 84-foot section with 4 large vertical launch tubes. As a result, the new Virginia Block 5 submarines became nearly 25% longer, while their Tomahawk missile capacity increased from 12 to 40. In practical terms, a single Virginia Block 5 can now deliver a strike that previously required several warships. 40 precision-guided Tomahawk missiles can simultaneously hit airfields, command centers, ammunition depots, air defense systems, and other strategic targets, while the submarine itself remains hundreds of miles offshore without revealing its position. But missiles were only part of the upgrade. Equally important was the pursuit of silence. In submarine warfare, victory does not always belong to the faster submarine. It belongs to the one that detects its opponent first while remaining undetected itself. That is why the Virginia class received even quieter machinery, upgraded sonar systems, and more advanced signal processing software. Simply put, it became not only harder to detect, but also much better at listening to the ocean. Another major area of development for the Virginia class is its integration with unmanned underwater vehicles. The submarine is no longer designed to operate on its own. Instead, it is becoming the command center for a network of robotic systems capable of conducting reconnaissance, surveying the seabed, searching for naval mines, and carrying out highly classified missions in areas where the risk to a human crew is simply too great. That is why the Virginia class is increasingly being described as a next-generation submarine. It combines the capabilities of a hunter, a missile platform, an intelligence-gathering vessel, and a command center for unmanned underwater systems. Yet despite all of its strengths, the Virginia class is not the most powerful submarine ever built by the United States. That title belongs to a submarine designed with virtually no compromises. Its name is Seawolf. Near the end of the Cold War, As the Soviet Union rapidly expanded its nuclear submarine fleet, American engineers were given an ambitious mission: build a submarine that would outperform its rival in every possible category. And they did. The Seawolf class emerged faster, quieter, and more heavily armed than any American attack submarine of its time. It can exceed 35 knots underwater, carries 8 torpedo tubes, and can deploy up to 50 weapons, including Mark 48 heavyweight torpedoes, Tomahawk cruise missiles, and naval mines. Even today, its maximum diving depth remains classified. But Seawolf's greatest advantage was never its speed or firepower. It was its silence. Even today, many military analysts consider the Seawolf class to be one of the quietest nuclear submarines ever built. In submarine warfare, that means only one thing: it can detect its enemy long before the enemy has any idea it is there. At first glance, the Seawolf class seems like the obvious choice to become the backbone of America's submarine fleet. But the opposite happened. The reason was surprisingly simple: cost. The Seawolf class was so expensive that building a large fleet no longer made sense after the Cold War ended. Instead of nearly 30 planned submarines, the U.S. Navy built only 3. That was when the Virginia class stepped into the spotlight. If the Seawolf is a supercar built for maximum performance, the Virginia is more like a premium off-road vehicle. It may give up a slight edge in a few areas, but it is less expensive, easier to maintain, simpler to upgrade, and capable of carrying out a much wider range of missions. Despite their differences, however, both classes share the same purpose. They are hunters. The next class of submarine was built for a completely different mission. Its purpose is not to hunt enemy warships, but to make sure a global war never begins. That submarine is the Ohio class. Unlike the Virginia or the Seawolf, the Ohio class rarely makes headlines. It does not conduct high-profile shows of force or patrol close to hostile coastlines. Its greatest weapon is uncertainty. As long as an Ohio-class submarine remains hidden somewhere in the world's oceans, no one knows exactly where it is. And that uncertainty is the very foundation of nuclear deterrence. Each Ohio-class submarine carries up to 20 Trident 2D5 ballistic missiles capable of striking targets thousands of miles away. A single submarine possesses enough firepower to influence the outcome of a global conflict. But the Ohio class is capable of much more than nuclear deterrence. 4 submarines of this class were converted into guided missile submarines armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles. Each one can carry more than 150 Tomahawks, making them some of the most powerful conventional strike platforms ever built. For comparison, the upgraded Virginia Block 5 carries up to 40 Tomahawk missiles. That means a single Ohio SSGN can launch nearly 4 times as many cruise missiles. Even the legendary Ohio class, however, is gradually approaching retirement. Its successor is the Columbia class, already regarded as the most important U.S. Navy shipbuilding program in decades. Columbia was not designed to break speed records or carry the largest arsenal. Its greatest advantage is an even higher level of stealth. Its new nuclear reactor is designed to operate for the submarine's entire service life without refueling, while advanced sonar systems and further reductions in acoustic signature will make it even harder to detect. For a strategic submarine, that matters far more than a few extra knots of speed. Comparing these 4 classes reveals that they are not competitors. Instead, they are designed to complement one another. American submarines rarely make headlines. They are not displayed in military parades, they do not conduct dramatic shows of force, and they rarely attract public attention. Yet for decades, they have remained one of the most important pillars of America's military power. Each class was built for a different mission, but together they form a submarine fleet unlike any other in the world. Which of these submarines impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about the world's most advanced military technology, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.